Well, as those of you who were at the Lake Forest and now may recall, I'm the headmistress of the Shelley Jacksont Vocational School for Ghost Speakers and Hearing Mouth Children, a school that was founded in 1898 to train children with speech impediments to channel the voices of the dead. And this piece I'm going to read is a file of documents from the archives of that school. And I'll start with a brief introduction to the contents of that file called Early Dispatches from the Land of the Dead. This file was recovered from the archives of the SJVS-GSHMC after an unfortunate incident too well known to require mention here. It appears to document the first successful journeys to the world of the dead. Incomplete and often obscure, it does not pretend to paint a complete picture of that land whose gates are barred to no one. Its merits lie in the immediacy of the impressions it records. The interleaved and waggishly titled tips for travelers were obviously added later, though their authorship is uncertain. Indeed, most of the circumstances surrounding these dispatches are uncertain. With all due respect to those who claim to have identified in them no fewer than 17 distinctive turns of phrase frequently used by the founder herself, we do not know who is speaking, whether it's one person or several, how their impressions were transmitted and recorded, or whether they ever returned. What we do know is that in the early days of the SJVS, though the hearing mouth children were ardent in their efforts to open a passage for the voices of the dead, they did not venture down that passage themselves. They remained safely buckled into the present, even as the past rose up in their throats. But as the dead spoke about their realm, the living began to desire to see it for themselves and to imagine ways the thing might be done. The most successful of these seems to have employed a speech impediment so extreme that the self, tied to it like a diver to a brick, was torn loose from speech time and carried down through her own mouth to that land where words are things and language landscape. Thoughtful readers will perceive that attempts to phone home or even keep a travelogue pose unique problems in regions where the scenery changes with every word. In the following dispatches, judge for yourself how well our nameless pioneer learned to navigate a terrain that she was, in the apt wording of the 6th dispatch, rolling out from under her own tongue. First dispatch. Can't, cannot, I cannot. Second dispatch. Not it. Wait, no. Not light, not dark, not sound, not silence, not smell nor taste of smoke, not hot, not cold, not far, not near, not tasseled, not hide, not knit, not knotted, not plaited, not patinated, not beveled, not bordered, not flocked, not cinched, not ruched, not fluted, not cocked, not felted, not toothed, not notched, not ribbed, not brindled, not fletched, not flensed, not marinated, not perforated, not butterflied, not bloodshot, not beaded, not laced, not pursed, not porticoed, not hinged, not glued, not steel reinforced, not dimpled, not pocked, not stubbled, not stratified, not ciliated, not imbricated, not gold-plated, not enunciated, not planned, not done, not undone. Not high nor low, shallow nor deep, not a thing, not that is not even not, but that does not become something by not being not, a whole without an edge, without anything, without even a hole lacking a hole with a hole in it as big as itself. Within not one now, within not a difference, not, within not a difference, not, within which not again. stutter of not and not forming interference patterns, not negating not negating not augmenting not augmenting not. Three states of not, and a nameless neitherness. Name it. I am not. I stutter, therefore I. Third dispatch. Am tongue on, I tip the my tell, I am, tell the time, I, on the tip of my tongue. No time here, no speech time, language time, thing time, the, out order of. Beginning, no beginning, end again, no next, no. Without speech time, how can I make my report? Asking how, I do it. Tell time, make my report. The report makes the report possible. Tips for travelers. The dead do not return. Life is not interesting to the dead. Death is not interesting to the dead either. Interest is not interesting to the dead. It requires some distance from its object, and the dead have no distance. They are there. No, it's the living who haunt the dead. There are 3 known routes to the land of the dead. The most popular permits only one-way traffic. We call that death. Of the 2 that admit return, one is through the mouth, the other through the pages of a book. Beginners may wish to consult such classics of the literature as Charnel Days and Ways, The Last Tonsil, or By Foot in the Mouthlands. But seasoned travelers will get just as far in Let's Learn Tagalog, or The World of Professional Golf, 1996. Many texts offer a way. This is one. Fourth dispatch. I did not go gently. I shouldered through my lips and blew myself down my throat, tearing my larynx. I threw some grammar ahead of me as I howled past my vocal cords and dropped into its invisible catchment. I landed hard. It took me a while to understand myself as what might have the capacity to move against what included it. The first thing I noticed was nothing. Normally I wouldn't have spotted it. The second was a sort of pucker, a ruck or run in nothing. Strictly speaking, it was also nothing, but with a difference. I couldn't identify it, couldn't even think about it for the moment. I speak too freely. There are no moments here, no about either, but let it pass. What I would previously have regarded with fair certainty as thoughts, speculations, deductions, predictions, opinions, dreams, passing fancies, all that ilk, recommended themselves to my senses instead, especially the haptic. They had scratchy bits, slippery bits, bits clotting in a thin way, bits like a stirrup or syrup, flocked bits, double bits, bits that bent and moved against one another with a distasteful grating, bits that swished, other bits. For the moment, excuse my language, I couldn't even begin to think how to think thoughts like these. Meanwhile, those sensations I had once consigned to my body, sometimes calling them lower, as if I personally cleared my own head by some inches, appealed now to my reason, referring and negating, proposing and refuting and changing from moment to moment. My ankle turned a trope. My haunch was a hunch, or would have been had I a haunch. In describing these impressions, in describing myself, I am, of course, describing death, nothing but. Yet something distinguished the death behind me from the death in front of me, as also the death on my left hand from the death on my right.